We met Kathy, who has been promoted to principal. The day before school starts, while in vacation with her best friend Megan and Gina, Ian pretends to be an AC fixer, comes to their room, and Kathy ends up getting into action with him. We learn then Ian is the boy from the beginning of the film 17 years ago, who survived a car accident with his mom, but not the dad. Now school starts. Bree, Kathy's daughter, also goes to that school. Kathy sees Ian and is shocked, especially after realizing that the boy her daughter is seeing is Ian. Kathy goes to them and tells Bree, "We need to leave early." Bree is confused as Kathy and Ian look at each other. Bree tells her mom that it's rude because Ian is so nice. Kathy then tells her this boy is trouble, don't spend any more time with him. Bree is mad as he was the only person that was nice to her. Meanwhile, Ian looks at them with enjoying. He then goes back home where he checks on his sick mom. The stepdad makes fun of her. Ian snaps at him to shut up. The stepdad then leaves and Ian shows a newspaper to his mom, where there is a photo of Kathy being the new principal. Ian tells her mom, "We will make her pay for what happened." He adds that I will make revenge for the both of us. We then get a flashbacks of Ian's parents before the car crash 17 years ago. Kathy was the girl his real dad presumably cheated on, leading to both parents arguing and crashing the car. The next day, Kathy is thinking, then tells Bree her dad will be here soon. She then gets a memory of Igbo with Ian. She is very disturbed. Someone then knocks on the door. It's Ben, her husband. He walks in. Ben realizes how stressed Kathy is and asks if she is okay. She then adds that maybe they should tell Bree the truth on why they separated. Ben says no. Telling Bree about an affair that happened years ago will just make Bree feel worse. Bree then arrives and Ben takes her for a couple of hours. Kathy then gets a call from Megan and begs her to come ASAP. Meanwhile, Ian is in his car, on the side of the road, spying on Bree, and starts following her and Ben. The dad and daughter then gets to a fancy restaurant. Bree seems defensive. Ian then walks in, making sign to Bree to join him. She sees and pretends she has to go to the restroom. Megan on the other end learns about everything and is shocked. She also tells her about the creepy text and him going after Bree. They try to find a way to stop the kid, and Megan asks, "How far are you willing to go?" Bree comes to Ian, who asks about the dad. Bree tells him her mom doesn't want them hanging out. Ian then comes closer, complimenting her eyes. Ben comes in and Bree introduces Ian, the dad, being Bree, back to the table. A little later, Ben and Bree get back. Before leaving, he tells Kathy he met Bree's new friend, Ian. Kathy gets frustrated, telling this boy is trouble. Ben adds that he caught a weird vibe from him too. That same night, Kathy wakes up and goes to the tool room to grab a knife. She then drives to the school, gets in, opens Ian's locker and puts the knife in. The next day, Bree is still mad at her mom for keeps talking about staying away from Ian. The class starts and Kathy announces over the megaphone that they are conducting a locker check. The security guard then finds the knife in Ian's locker. He then interrupts the class and asks to see Ian. They confront him about the knife and he says it's not his. Ian says to Kathy, "You did this, didn't you?" She asks him to follow her to her office. Once at the office, she tells him to stop his games. She tells him she knows he is on probation, and because he is now 18, one more issue and it will be jail time for him. She adds, "Your mother needs you, don't leave her behind." He screams, "I would do anything for my family." She tells him, "You stay away from my daughter or this knife goes in your record." He tells her, "I will make you pay." She asks, "Pay for what?" He tells her, "I have been tracking you, that night at the hotel was planned." He then shows her a video of them getting into action. She is shocked he recorded it. Ian adds, "If you want me to keep this video to myself and stay away from Bree, then it's gonna cost you." He wants $50,000 by the end of this week. She doesn't have that money, but he doesn't care. Kathy refuses to play the game. Ian says, "So you want to test me?" He adds, "You will regret this." She tells the officer Ian has been expelled and he has been escorted out of the school. Ian leaves angry as Gina sneaks out to follow him. Later after school, Kathy announces to Bree that Ian has been expelled. Bree is still mad. Ian arrives home and the stepdad plays on his nerves again. Ian had enough. He grabs a knife and stabs him. Gina also arrives. Ian goes to his mom to comfort her when Gina walks in. She tells him she wants to tell him she loves him. She wants him. She sees the body of the stepdad and runs away. He catches up to her, reels her car window and tells her to not tell anyone anything. Ian comes back in and finishes the stepdad. The next day, Kathy and Bree arrive to the school while Bree is still mad. Kathy then calls Megan saying he seems familiar. Gina on the other hand is silent. Ian on the other end checks on his mom who asks where is the stepdad. He tells her, I will leave you by yourself for a couple of hours and when I'm back, we will finally get out of here. He then arrives to the school and takes Bree to the side. Gina sees him. He wants to tell Bree something. He wants to hang out with her but she can't skip class. He insists and she agrees. They sneak out and Kathy is informed that Bree is absent to her last class. Kathy comes to the class and speaks to the teacher outside. Gina is thinking then steps out and tell Kathy she saw her leave with Ian. Kathy calls Bree but Ian answers. She says she doesn't have that kind of money, so he tells her to take all the money in your bank and valuables from your house and meet me at a location in 2 hours. He then drives Bree and asks if her mom ever cheat. She says no, her mom is perfect. He tells her we are never going back to school and calls her mom the B word. She is now scared. He tells her she needs real family. She wants to leave but he shows her his gun. He says I want to protect you, you are my little sister, we have the same dad. And her mother is the reason he is dead. Kathy gets home and Megan is there to help. Megan wants to call the police. They search the house for valuables. Meanwhile Ian brings Bree to a place his mother used to work at. He reveals to her that her mother had an affair with his dad 17 years ago, her dad is not Ben. She doesn't believe him. He tells her he slept with her mom, she pushes him away and punches him. She starts running. He catches up to her. Kathy then gets a call from Ian while Bree is tied up. He gives her the address and says no police. Minutes later they arrive at the location. She walks in and finds them. She drops the money and wants Bree. But Ian says she is coming with me like dad would have wanted. He then reveals he is Felix's son, she now sees the resemblance. Bree asks if it's true everything he said. Meanwhile Megan doesn't see Kathy coming out and calls the police. The mom says Ian is telling the truth. She told Ben the truth but he decides he wants to stay as her father. Ian points the gun at Kathy. Bree runs to stop it but Kathy pushes him and they both fall outside. Minutes later police and ambulances are here taking the mom. Kathy apologizes to Bree. Ian on the other end is dead. We are then shown Ian's mom by herself waiting for her son. Months later Bree is having a great birthday party.